Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ramsey Smith Isn't Funny podcast. We are back. I know we had a couple weeks off there, but now we're back. We are back. We're never stop. It's never stopping, ladies and gentlemen. Every single Thursday, I will be here. If a podcast will be released, if there is no podcast released, you can know that I am dead. Okay? 100% guarantee. If there's no podcast on Thursday, start calling my friends and my family and tell them I'm gone, because I will be gone, ladies and gentlemen. That is how dedicated I am to the art of... This is more of an art than stand-up, and I believe that this is an art form. Nothing else is. This is podcasting. We're here. Ladies and gentlemen, every single Thursday, the Ramsey Smith podcast will be released, or else I am dead. And let me tell you, if I do die, and it's under suspicious circumstances, you have to investigate, okay? Investigate. I am not... Anyone who listens to this podcast knows I'm not suicidal. Never have been. There's zero chance. If I have some information that's going to lead to big things overhauling, to the arrest of some very prominent people, I'm alive. God damn it. If I committed suicide with 2 shots in the back of the head, which to be fair sounds like something I would try to do just to be annoying, it's not true. Oh my goodness. You know that journalist where they hijacked his car and they ran it into a tree? Look, man, I'm not. I'm good. I'm on the wet level. I'm having a good time. I've quit stand-up. I'm done. Finished. Quit stand-up. I'm still going to be doing spots and kind of trying to pursue it as a career, but I've quit. I'm finished. I've been waiting to go out. My last set, I want to have a good one, and the opportunity hasn't arrived yet. Okay, so I've quit for a couple of months. I just need a good set to go out on a high on. It hasn't happened. It has not happened. I did the fucking Comedy Store London Gong show last night. Boy, oh boy. What the fuck is a gong show? These things are ridiculous. I'm protesting. No, I did well. Of course I did well. You know me. I was crushing. Then we got to the 4-minute mark, and then they hated me just because I was going to do some material on... It was about trans people, but it was nice. It was trans person approved. And I got booed. I don't know if they were pro or anti-trans. There was some cunts up the back who were just telling everyone to get off. And you know me, if the audience doesn't respect me, I don't respect them. I'm not doing well. I had to beg the last person to get me off of that fucking stage. But hey, at least some of the other comics respected me for doing it. And for some reason, that's what I like. I like to respect the open micers more than I do with fucking bookers. God damn it. That's the mind games we're playing. Remember when comedy was cool? When comedy was punk rock? Remember when fucking Sam Kinison was walking whole rooms and that would give him a bonus? They would give him a bonus when he would walk the room. Now we are all whores, and I'm going to be the biggest whore ever. Put me on the fucking Riyadh Comedy Fest. Give me the money. I'll do it for $20. Honestly, I'll do it for flights and a com. That sounds fun. They'd probably put you in a good hotel. And you know the hotel is good when it's run by slaves, because you know they're working hard. No fucking... The maid isn't bitching. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Okay, this is a weird transition, but in one of those, what can you do to a maid? You know what I mean? I'm sure if any of those comics went there and were like, hey, could you make this maid disappear? She saw some shit, they could make her go. So that, it's not good, but it's whatever. Do whatever, guys. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Do the Riyadh comedy. Here's what comedy is, right? You have your respect. You know, you like comedy because you're an idiot, because you're a fool, because you're a baboon, and then you go and you watch comedy, like, this is good, and then you get into comedy, and then you have your favorite guys who you really respect, and then someone goes, hey, by the way, that guy's not a great guy. He might be grabbing some ladies on the side. That's why all of my new favorite comics are female now. They're the only ones. I'm sure some of them also do bad stuff, but it's fine. We're going to have fun. All right. You may have noticed a different energy, and this is the energy I'm trying to bring to the podcast. The podcast might only last 17 minutes, but fuck it. We're here. We're having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. I hope the people watching this are all good. I hope we're having fun, god damn it. I need energy, because this is I don't know who I am, right? No one knows who I am. I think I only exist when I'm observed, and then I just try to be observed in the correct way. But so this is how I'm going to be observed. This is who I am. I am actually a fun guy, despite my face, and people hate me, okay? I think I have autism. It's a masking thing. I've been watching too many Instagram reels from a lady that has autism, and I'm like, this is really speaking to my experience in life. So I'm probably on the spectrum, the big time spectrum. But what are we going to do? We're here. I've been waiting to take this sip of water, but I had an opportunity. I need to stop talking to take this sip of water. So here we go. This is interesting, because I hate gong shows. Anyone that's actually funny gets gonged off at those things, because not anyone. There's people who are funny who pass them. If you fucking pass the gong show and you're complaining, you piece of shit, fuck off. But no. If you're weird and you're too weird, they go, this guy's weird. So if he's weird, you're allowed to be weird. It's part of the thing of doing comedy, Just who wants a normal guy who's actually funny? They're the worst. I'm just a normal guy who's funny and charismatic. Don't do comedy. Go have a good life. Go have friends and make people laugh in day-to-day boring conversations. Don't come on stage, you fucking pieces of shit. All right, this is opinionated. This is an opinionated podcast. Stop with the plosive P's. It probably sounds terrible in all of your ears, everyone that's still listening, guys. You may have noticed the podcast was taken down off YouTube for a couple of days. And by you may have noticed, maybe nobody noticed because I stopped releasing episodes, for like 2 weeks, and it was in the middle of the 2 weeks, which is why, because we got taken, it's back. Don't worry, guys, it's back, and we're going to try and stay back on the YouTube, because that's where most of the views come from. So from now on, just to make sure we can remain on YouTube, this is a pro-Israel podcast. It has a right to defend itself with having a moment of silence for everyone that died on October 7th. But a moment of silence for everyone on both sides. Okay, there we go. It's what do you want me to do? We're a pro-Israel podcast as long as it stays on air. If it gets taken down from being pro-Israel, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the Israel. I don't, because here's the thing: the podcast got taken down, and at this point, the podcast with how long it's, I don't know if it's because it's pro-Israel, anti. If it's because we had Rebecca on here bragging about having 100 abortions. Who knows why it got taken down? But we're back, and boy, oh boy, aren't the IDF a bunch of good lads. Look, man, I've had a toothache the past week, and if you've ever had a toothache, you understand every single, you know what I mean, Charles Manson, maybe he had a toothache, because you do some crazy, you don't feel good, it's in your mind constantly, you get paranoid. Maybe somebody has like a chip in my tooth, and they've been putting the pain in there as punishment for this podcast, in which case I think that punishment is deserved. It's been bad, but now it's good, guys. When you have that toothache, just a constant reminder that life isn't good, you know what I mean? It's difficult to function. I have been a shell of myself, and I was already a shell. I'm already a husk of a man. There's nothing inside of me that's... Sometimes you relate a little bit too much to the start of that American Psycho monologue. You can shake my hands, you can look me in the eyes and feel warmth, but believe me, behind that there is nothing. There is something. That's the problem. I wish there was nothing, because then I would understand, but there is something. It's not understood, ladies and gentlemen. It's not understood. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Guys, you know what? I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. I'm not. I am having a... Look, we're all just stardust. You ever think about that? But you still got to wait in line at the post office, despite the fact that you are stardust. Ridiculous. All right, I had some things I wanted to talk about because they're kind of funny. All right. I've very much enjoyed watching the downfall of Will Smith, the rapper. Not the former Parramatta Eel. But I have been watching the downfall of Will Smith because I like Will Smith as he's a great actor. All right, King Richard was good. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I haven't seen most of it, but the one where he cries because of his dad, how come you don't want me, man? Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. We love... This is a pro Will Smith podcast, but his downfall is interesting because he's such a industry guy. Like, he's so within the industry. It's ridiculous. It's insane. He's so there. Like, everything he's doing is a calculated PR thing. He might be a Scientologist, or he's not even a Scientologist. He just says he kind of likes a Scientologist because he knows that is good for Hollywood. That's insane. To not be a Scientologist, but be like, look, man, I still want to do a Tom Cruise movie one day. That would be a wonderful team up. But so to watch someone who's only cared about PR just freaking the fuck out it's a beautiful thing. It's interesting. All right, he slaps Chris Rock. Remember that? It was fucking 3 years ago. And it's just all been downhill. Now he's been scrambling, and the millions of dollars that he must give to these PR people is just not spent well. Because someone told him, hey, man, let's go back to rapping. What? Someone in his PR team saw the Chris Rock slap and everyone freaking out, and he said, you know what, guys? Let's get DJ Jazzy Jeff back to pop you on some of his tracks. That's what the people are asking for. No. It's not the answer, guys. Do not do that. He's rapping. He's got the I'm Not Gay song. He's got a song where he goes, guys, I'm definitely not gay. He's also rapping about how much he loved girls when the freak out was about how he was protecting his wife. It's confused. No one's even pretending to logically follow the consistency of who Will Smith is. We go, you guys married? Is it an open relationship? Is it a sham marriage? Are you there for the kids? Are you there for the Hollywood, view? Because it's not working out, and maybe you guys should just stop. So yeah, it's fun to watch. And then there was something he put up on like YouTube, probably TikTok and all that stuff. It's him playing a concert, right, with one of his new songs, and it's packed out, but it's clearly an AI crowd. It's so embarrassing. It looks like iRobot because they're all blurry in the back, and you go, come on, man. This is pathetic. You're Will Smith. You could not do this. You could stop. You have something wrong that you're like, hey, I need everybody to love me. I'm going to do a video where the crowd is AI in fucking Estonia. It was like in Eastern Europe. So he's like, nah, people just look like that there. People have blurry faces and six fingers, which, you know what? Some people do out in Eastern Europe now I think about it. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not AI. Maybe it's just a Slovakian village. That's what they look like. Shout out my Slovenians. But yeah, it's nice. We've got people who are staples of entertainment, who only exist. They exist separate in the world. They're famous, and it's famous with a big wall. These are the A-list actors. There's no crossover into reality, really. Right? You're never going to know these people's purse. That's what it felt like for a very long time. And then Will Smith slaps on one of the Oscars, and everyone said that's not okay. That's weird. And we don't like you for doing it. And also, what is going... It's nice. These people are just PR machine. They exist as an experiment of PR. And the fact that it's bleeding... The fact that the millions of dollars spent on some fucking nerd who's like, who probably studied propaganda in World War II on the Nazi Germany side and is trying to do that for Will Smith, like the propaganda part, because that's what PR is. It's just propaganda. And they're being like, oh, we can't fix this. You're going to rap. You're going to get back to rapping. You're like 50 years old. And the rap, it's passed you by. You're nothing. What do you... Did they get any... They should have got someone to feature. You know what I mean? They should have got like... I don't even know who the big rappers are now, but it's a bad song. He's like a little guy in the music video, and the women are huge, and maybe that's what he's into. He's a homosexual man, and it's fine to be that. It's absolutely fine to be that, Will Smith. Just come out, do whatever you want. He did flirt a lot with Margot Robbie, actually. Who knows what he is? But he doesn't... Who he loves Jada, maybe he does. Who cares? Just relax. Will Smith, I know you're watching. Just stop, man. Just stop. It's so funny, man. An AI video. It's beautiful. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of doing that. Just say, nah, I don't give a shit. This is AI. We're having a whole... There's a pretend crowd... People don't actually want to see me. No one... Imagine saying, hey, man, I've got Will Smith tickets. You coming down? I got an extra ticket for Will Smith. And you go, what is he doing? Is it a movie? No. Rapping. A concert. Oh, man, is he doing? Parents just don't understand. He's 50. Poor guy. Thoughts and prayers to Will Smith. Well, I wonder what he hasn't commented on anything of any substance. You know, he doesn't exist. Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. I had something very fun happen to me the other day. I was at a comedy show on Monday. It was an open mic. We don't have open mics in London, but it was an open mic. It was a new material thing. Everyone, it's a fun time. The host was new to hosting, so he brought a bunch of people. I got a feeling they were from some sort of collective or class about writing, but not like stand-up writing, about maybe screenwriting or some other stuff, because there was this guy who was a intellectual, is the vibe I got. The point is, it's a fine gig. I'm on in the first half. I have fun. Then in the half, a guy comes up to me unprompted. This is not asked for. This is not prompted. This isn't a comedian. This guy comes up to me unprompted, not a comic, and he says, hey, I wrote some notes. Do you want to hear them? He wrote some notes on my set, and of course I said, absolutely I want to hear them. What have you got for me? And then he said, well, hey, he said, every note was just, that could be structured better. For like 4 jokes. Because he didn't watch my whole set. He said, I came in midway through, but for these 4 jokes, I thought they could... He said, he didn't say all 4 of them could be structured. He went joke by joke and then said, you know this one? And I said, yeah, I know that one. He said, that could be structured better. And I said, wow, man, thank you. And then he said, all right, this next joke. And I go, yep. He goes, that one could be structured better. I'm like, oh, wow, man. Thanks. And he says the next one, and I said, let me guess. And he said, you're right, it could be structured better. He was European, so I'm not going to fault him, fair enough. But he was kind of like smarmy, because he's like, oh man, if I wrote it down, I could, give you a piece of advice, being like that. He was like, no, if I could write it down, I could really... He thought that he could fix my jokes. You can't fix what it's broken, You can't fix something that is just terrible. It's not how it works. But yeah, that was very fun. Just every single note was just, yeah, you could structure that. That ending didn't really make sense, because I'm throwing out tags, and it was just... If you're going to come up to someone and say, hey, I've got notes, have actual notes. You know what I mean? Don't just be like, hey, don't say it that way. That's not a note. And it's also, don't do that. Don't come up to... Actually, you should. If you're a fan of comedy and not doing it, the chances that anyone watching this isn't a comedian that knows me personally is very low. But if you are, just go to an open mic and unprompted say, hey, man, I've got some notes, and then give them bad notes, because you know what? It's just as useful as I'm getting from these other comics on their notes, okay? Oh, man. There's this gong show here where after you go up, they like critique your set, and they have the feedback from the host and the guest judge, who's someone who's doing a spot at the club after, and no one cares about the notes, right? The audience is there for you. They don't care. They're never listening. They're never like, oh, wow, yeah, try. And the worst thing is the oftentimes the judges will actually give notes. Be like, hey, man, cut, stop that, blah, blah, tags, don't talk to the audience, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Be funny. If you are on stage with a microphone and you're a comedian, be funny. That's the only thing you should ever do, all right? And if you're not funny, consider suicide, okay? But don't do it, but just think about it and think, hey, man, be funny. So, yeah, this is no longer a political podcast. I know it was a big political podcast, and I know that we are still pro-Israel and pro-APAC, and boy, oh boy, I can't wait for those APAC checks to clear. But no, we are not. This isn't political. This is no longer. It never was. It never was. It never has been. You remember that election special episode? It doesn't exist. I've cleared it from the archives. You can't watch it. I've also cleared some of the other pods where I said some pretty heinous shit, but it was a joke. Okay? Do you understand jokes? You fucking idiots. Yeah, I don't know where this is going. This is good. I would listen to this. Right? I have a degradation fetish. I think part of being a comedian is knowing how to say words, and that is a part I have not mastered. Oh man, let me tell you something. So we're just gonna go through some stuff that's happened to me in the week, and then we're gonna have fun. There's not gonna be many points. We're not gonna reach into the news too much, although there have been a lot of protests happening recently at the cafe I've worked at every single Saturday. There has been a collection of police officers in big vans just across the road. It seems to be the road that where my cafe is on is where they like to mobilize before they head out to a protest to arrest people for opposing, Palestine action or whatever, which arrest them all is what I say. That's terrorism, is saying you don't like genocide. It's terrorism. Look up terrorism right there, okay? Remember when you used to have to kill someone to be a terrorist? Back when it had meaning? Remember when you had to fly planes into a building? Like, hey, that's a terrorist. You had to fucking go over the Middle East and fucking, stand there in your khaki shorts and fucking fire off an AK-47 and yell or whatever. That used to be terrorism. Now it's just protesting for being anti-genocide, and that is terrorism. That's the type I'm scared of. Absolutely. But no, so there's been protests and the racist and then the anti-racist, and then it is kind of fun because look, I'm pro-immigrant. I'm an immigrant. Let's not forget that. I've immigrated to this country. I've kind of come back. It's good. It's not great to be back, but I've come back. I'm here, but I am an immigrant. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I got hit with anti-Australian racism the other day. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Can you believe it? It was a whole lot of fun. It was great. So I'm working at, look, in case you didn't know, I'm not a professional podcaster just yet, but if you hit subscribe, God damn it, so I can be. So I'm working at a cafe. There is obviously a seating point out front of the cafe that is for people to sit in who are patrons of that cafe. And if you're not a patron of the cafe, you have to leave. I police this with discretion. If you're old, if someone with like a cane, if they're clearly disabled, I let them sit down because normally they're waiting for a bus or whatever and they're not there for that long. I'm not going to be a bitch, right? But if they're kind of dirty, or not dirty, but if I don't want them to sit there, then they're going to have to leave, right? So normally I give them like a couple of minutes, because sometimes you sit down for a couple of minutes and then you leave and it's fine. No one's hurt. But this lady was there. She's smoking cigarettes, one after another. She's got a co-op sandwich there. So I go out and say, hey, ma'am, this is for customers only. You're going to have to leave. She says, okay. And then I go back inside because I've done what I've done. I've said, hey, you have to leave. Information has been exchanged. take a minute, pack up your stuff, and go. Pretty simple, all right? Pretty simple. Boom, I serve some people. About 5 minutes goes by. She's still out there smoking. So, boy, oh, boy, we're having a great time, aren't we? I come out again and I say, hey, ma'am, you have to go. This is for customers only. And she says, all right. And I say, well, you're not leaving, are you? So you can't just say okay to the information and then clearly not take it in. Do you know what I mean? You haven't actually absorbed it all. You haven't taken the info that I've given you and put action to it. Right? Here's my notes. Leave. So then we kind of go, I'm like, hey, ma'am, you have to go. And she goes, yeah, all right. I'm like, well, you're not really going. And she says, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, she says, oh, I am leaving. I'm like, well, I asked you 5 minutes ago very nicely, and you haven't left. I just work here. That's the rules. I'm sure you understand how a cafe works. She goes, yeah, I understand how a cafe works. And he goes, well, that's very good. And I go, well, you don't understand, do you? Because you're here. You've demonstrated that you don't understand that is how every cafe, go to any cafe, go sit to the one across there, see what happens. Those guys will murder you, okay? That cafe next door, they've killed people before. I've seen it. I'm being very nice. So she goes, no. Then she goes, are you Australian? And I go, I'm taken aback because I've never been checked for my nationality yet, right? I've received one bit of xenophobia, I guess is what it technically is. So I go, yeah. And she goes, well, I'm British. Ooh, this is fun. And that's the beauty of being white, is that when you do experience discrimination, it's fun. It's a little holiday. You know what I mean? It's a little like, oh, it's like going on safari. It doesn't sound great, but it is. It's like going on a safari. And like, by the way, this is what it's like to be colored. This is what it's like to be a Bangladeshi guy in London and someone yells at you because you're not from here. You know what I mean? So I got to experience that, and I'm like, I don't understand what that has to do with it. I work here. It's the shop's property. You have to leave. She goes, yeah, well, I'm not a Sheila. I'm not some other Australian word for lady. And I go, what are you talking about, right? Anyway, I talked to her a bit more. Then I went back inside. She started to pack up. I was like, she had food from somewhere else. First of all, I don't actually give a shit. But the fact that she had attitude back at me, right? She started with attitude. If I say, hey, can you leave? And you say, hey, my foot's really sore. I'm so sorry. I'll be here for 5 minutes. I'd let you stay. I'm very easy. I have compassion. I have a heart. I'm a good person, and I care about people. God damn it. So you know what? I went back inside. Then she had one more cigarette. She left. She knocked on the door. She said, I'm leaving. But I wish I had just sat out there with her, because there was someone else in the cafe who could have manned the actual working of the cafe. I could have had a chat with her, because it also, and it sucks. She said she was British and her teeth were fucking terrible. Her teeth were black and if I was funny, I would have said that when she said she was British. I would have said, hey, I could tell by your teeth. But alas, I'm not quick on my feet like that. I'm not a funny. I don't do comedy. I've quit, remember? I have quit comedy. I'm doing a spot tonight, but if it goes well, I'm done. Probably won't go well. But yeah, so that's, it's fun to experience a little bit of discrimination when you're white and you don't experience it ever. It was nice to get checked for being Australian, because I've been invited to one of those EDL marches. Yeah, you hate immigrants, and I am one. Come on. So it's fun. It's fun to see that. And yeah, so that's what's going on. They've got that. They've got the big marches. Has been UKIP, which apparently it was the European get out of Europe, which they did. They Brexited. But now UKIP still exists, and they're like, no, we're just here to be racist now. We've achieved our get out of Europe, and now we're racist. So, excuse me. So good for them, I guess. They know, where these guys stand, and that's what nice. What's also funny, what I've noticed is the difference between racism here and Australia is that over here, if someone's racist, it tells you a lot about them, right? You kind of know who they vote for. You kind of know what circles they run in. You know what I mean? You know most of their core beliefs just based on their races. In Australia, you can meet a guy who's racist, doesn't tell you how they vote at all. Like, it doesn't affect anything. They just go, yeah, I'm racist. And you go, oh, okay. And they go, yeah, but I vote Greens. There's people who are racist in Australia who are very worried about climate change. Absolutely. I can guarantee that. And that's what's... Because being part of a group sucks, right? They have a... Look, I know there's a little neo-Nazi group in Australia, and look, good for them. The guy's bald. He has a mustache. I saw a video of him getting arrested recently because my fucking Instagram algorithm shows me this shit and I'm not interested, but boy, oh boy, do I watch it. The point is, because here's the thing. I get a lot of shit for being racist over here because I'm Australian. They go, Australians are racist. I'm like, you guys have had violent race rallies very recently. Extremely recently. We had one in like 2004, and it was in Cronulla, so it doesn't really count. They probably still do that now, but it's Cronulla. We let them have their fun. But no, it's you guys had one 2 years ago. 2 years ago, people were there were violence. You know what I mean? So cars were getting stomped on and lit on fire. So maybe just let's look inward before we look outward for our racism accusations, is what I think. But yeah, man, it's cool. I recently rewatched Bo Burnham's What, which is a comedy special by Bo Burnham. It was released free on YouTube in 2013. And 2014, 2015 was about the time I really got into stand-up comedy. And having this amazingly produced stand-up special, I realized how much it influenced me. Number one, the constant references to wanting to kill yourself, which I'm not suicidal. If I shoot myself, it's if this podcast is not released on Thursday, they've got to me. Okay? They have. All right? Anyway. Because what I realized is what's frustrating, I love the special. Bo Burnham's great. What's bad about watching a good, well-produced stand-up special is now that I've started stand-up, I'm a lazy piece of shit, right? That's what it is. So I can only be funny with the microphone and talking to the audience. Everything else creates too much work for me, and I'm lazy and not... I think I'm not creative. I'm just too lazy to be creative because of whatever, right? And what would make me feel better is I would watch these other well-produced stand-up, specials or shows or whatever, in like a local level, like in Sydney and over here. And when you would watch someone who put a lot of thought into their stand-up, and they have whatever, the slideshow and the lights and the movement and the changing, and it always felt good that it wasn't funny. Right? Because they would have to make up for the fact it's not funny with because they're doing it because they're not actually funny. So they're putting the slideshow and the lights and the changing and the audio cues and the weird mist, and the randomness and the weird impressions and voices and the guitar and the music. And I've done comedies, been doing it, that I would see so much bad stuff of this. And you go, they just have to do that because they're not funny. So they have to do this extra stuff. They're not funny, therefore lighting cues and audio tracks and all this stuff. But then you watch, someone that's doing that and it's good, and Bo Burnham's great. Also, shout out to Kate Dolan, saw her show. Fantastic. She also does different lighting. It's good. It's good, right? There's substance. And it's annoying because now it's like, these guys are doing both. Bo Burnham is also being funny as well as putting effort into the stage production. I don't think that's fair. You're meant to do one or the other. But yeah, watching it makes me realize that I hate my own comedy. It sucks. It's just someone trying to be funny. And sometimes it's funny, but who cares? Nothing matters. If a crowd laughs at your jokes, you're a hack. That's what I believe. That's what I feel. Anyway, that's just a thought. That's just something that happened. On Friday, I bombed. So this is great. A couple weeks ago, I did this gong show because that's all I'm doing. No, I did a gong show. It was in Lewisham or Peckham. It was in one of those in London, not the one in Sydney. It was in Peckham, actually. It was in Peckham, and it was a very urban audience, is I believe what they used to call it. A lot of black people in the crowd, which is very fun. Great crowd. I had a lot of fun. I had a very good set, and then they do the thing where you have to do a minute at the end, and then I bombed terribly during the minute because minutes can fuck off. But yeah, but I had a great crushed. I thought it not very dense in the laughs, but a lot of like long laughs and long applause. So look, it was good. Anyway, what happened? A black crowd is great because when you're crushing, they love you, right? They love you so much. And then on Friday, I did a much smaller show. It was like an open mic, but there was a row of like 6 black ladies in the front, and I bombed very hard. And boy, oh boy, is that the other side of the coin. They just kind of nodded at all. I would get to punchlines, and they go, that was a weird way to end that sentence. You know what I mean? You get to where it's meant to be a laugh, and they go, "Oh, well, that was what a weird thing to say." He said something at the start, and then it was weird at the end. But they just wanted interaction, and then you kind of get mad because you've been taught to do jokes, right? Not by someone, but just by comedy and just doing it. You go, I have to do jokes. And then you get in front of a crowd that just wants you to be funny with them. And you go, oh, it's meant to be jokes. But no, it's meant to be being funny. That's the whole reason you're doing it. That's why we started this. Why can I not be funny with black women? Is what I'm asking myself. But no, terrible show. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I was also doing new stuff, which I thought was funny. I done 2 shows, and nothing's better than doing 2 shows in the same day, same material, one good, one bad. It really makes you understand that you haven't figured it out. How about this? My wife, in her whole career of working, and she's pretty young. Not young. She's my age. She's 24. She's had 2 bosses that are flat earthers. What are the odds? Ladies and gentlemen, what are the odds that she has worked for 2 flat earthers in her 24 years of being... That's only like 6 years of working. 6 or 7 years she's been in the workforce, and she's had 2 bosses that thought that the earth was flat and that space didn't exist. It's because here's the thing. I love my wife, and she can get down about work and stuff, right? If she had a hard time finding a job at different times, and you're like, oh, I'm sure you're a good employee, but I don't give a shit. I don't care if she's a good employee. It would matter so little to me. She could be the worst employee. I still love her because she's who she is, whether or not she can work. But she still wants that reassurance. So you go, oh, I'm sure you're good. You're hireable. People don't hate you. But maybe their bosses hate her. I don't care. It would 0% of me cares if she works in the workforce good. I love her for her soul, goddammit. So you try to convince her that, but she's had 2 bosses that are flat earthers. So maybe... these people that are hiring her, their judgment isn't great, is kind of what's happening. 2 too many people that have been like, yeah, I want this person to work for me. Also, there is an ice ridge around the circumference of the earth, and then it drops off, and the Jews don't want us to know what's going over there. That is the thought process of the people that are willing to hire my wife. I find that amusing. I'm sorry. But no, I love her. It's good. But yeah, they think the earth... my wife's sister had on a NASA shirt, and they went into this place where she works, and the boss was like, NASA's satanic. And then they like laughed. They're like, no. They're trying to trick us into thinking the earth is round. It's actually flat, and God created the firmament or whatever. And the weird thing is at this new place, where she got hired kind of recently, the boss thinks that the earth is flat, but also she's had some trouble because it's a Albanian shop and they're quite Muslim. And so she's had some trouble with the dress code because my wife's a curvy girl. And so she's wearing her regular shirts and pants or whatever. And they're being like, oh, you need to cover up the side. She's had some pretty bad comments from them, which pissed me off. But it's funny that the boss is being like, you can't wear that because of the, body outline. Because you think he couldn't see the curvature. Sorry, I just had to wait till you guys finished laughing. But you know what I mean? It's... Sometimes it's one of those... Sometimes you do a joke and you realize it's not good at the end. And you don't have time to fix it. You go, all right, well, this is it. Oh, man, but yeah, my tooth has been bad. I had some ice. I went to an ice bath and sauna place. I've been doing that once a month or so for 2 months. So I'm consistent. So I've done it twice is what I'm trying to say. But I quite like it. I go to these things to really reconnect. I like a calming experience. Saunas are very calming for me. Ice baths are good for getting within your own body and feeling yourself. The people that go to these things are the worst. Because they chat in the saunas and they chat about like the utility of a new AI software. And you go, I want to be in the woods, right? I want to get a gun and go to whatever office you work at and kill everyone because they're talking about, their firms or whatever technology bullshit. Which is the worst because it's in Hackney, which is, I think, meant to be this hipster area. But all the hipsters are, like, rich. They're all tech people now. That's what a hipster is. I fucking love Ted Kaczynski is what I'm trying to say. Bomb these people. Just stop it. AI, stop it. Everyone dead now is what I would like. I would like everyone... I'm in a sauna trying to feel my pores open up and feel my body move and be connected to, because it's cold outside. Then you want to get into the cold and you want to feel that and feel how your body moves and reacts. And there's just some guy talking about AI software and, investment banking and how it analyzes stuff and its utility. And you're like, I want to forget that you exist right now. That's why I'm here. I want to go within my mind and forget about the scourge that is technology. You know what I mean? Don't talk in a sauna. What happened to that? What happened to shutting the fuck up in a sauna? I don't care. Stop it. All right? Everyone relax. I understand I'm one of the only people there alone. People do this as a community thing because whatever, but I like to go there alone because my wife does not like saunas and she's my only friend, god damn it. But I guess this is what's just going on with me. So yeah, guys, it's been that. I think that's been the podcast. We're going to wrap it up with a little rap. Right, so this is everything we talked about on the pod today. Hip, hop, hippity, yay. If this pod isn't out on Thursday, you know to assume the worst. Hey, I am deceased, so please put the word on the street. I didn't kill myself. I've never been suicidal. I probably got killed by the people that Mossad. They probably got me if I am dead. Shot me twice in the back of the head. Ruled as a suicide. Yippity yay. I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Not really. Don't take this podcast down. We're pro-Israel now. Yeah. I had a toothache and Will Smith's crowd was fake. I got some notes at Long Face. That was the name of the comedy where the guy gave me the notes. My wife works for Flat Earthers, and it's a bit of a fucking joke. Don't talk in a sauna or ice bath. You will feel my wrath. I bombed in front of some ladies with a lot of melanin. It was crazy. And my burn was what made me kind of had a crisis about what type of comedy I am doing. But stop screwing around. Hit subscribe on the Ramsey Smith Isn't Funny podcast right now. Fucking good night, Australia.